what is cracking? It is your girl, Lillian Francis. And welcome to my two-part introductory series on beat making in Ableton. In our last video, we looked at how to program the drums to create the bass of our beat. And today we're gonna be looking at expanding that beat and adding in melody, synths, audio effects, bass, stuff like that. So without further ado, let us get right on into it and dive into our project. Splash! All right, so let's build out this beat a little bit now and add in some chords or something. We need a melody. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with maybe finding a nice little pad chord progression or something like that. So I'm going to create a 4-bar loop now, and I'm just going to select this MIDI clip that we have here. I'm gonna hit Command D to duplicate it out, and let's bring out this loop bar so that we can get this full thing looping. So I'm gonna need another MIDI track to put on my new instrument, and in order to do that, I'm gonna hit Shift Command T. All right, so I'm thinking some kind of a pad sound and a chord progression. So I'm gonna go over to sounds and you go into pads, and let's just see if we find any that we like. Sure, why not? All right, let's double click it to load it up, and we're just gonna create a new MIDI clip, Shift Command M. So a really cool thing that Ableton has in the piano roll is the ability to highlight scales. So we can select a scale by hitting the scale button over here and then selecting whatever scale we want. Let's go ahead and do F major for funsies. Now I'm actually gonna create a longer clip here by going into the length over here, hitting 4, hitting enter, and now we have a 4-bar clip we're working with. Up here though, I gotta make sure to extend the bar until it's 4 bars long, or else you're only going to hear a little section of it if you only have it this long. Okay, cool. So we got a 4-bar loop. I'm gonna hit my B tool now, and I'm just going to, for the sake of coming up with a melody on the spot, I'm gonna start just drawing in random notes and seeing how they sound. That's kind of my favorite way to do it. All right, we're gonna start with the tonic being F though. All right. Cool. All right, there you go. 4 chords. Let's see how they sound. All right, sounds pretty good. I'm going to go into our device view and change the amplitude attack a little bit. I think the attack is a little bit too long, so I'm going to just bring that in a bit. See how it sounds. Cool, and I want way more release as well because I want the notes to overlap more instead of as soon as the note being done playing, kind of have it come out. Cool. Now, just to get it sounding better right off the bat, what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of bounce to this guy. And I'm gonna do that by using some sidechain compression, which is a little bit of an advanced concept for this beginner video, but it's really fun. So we're gonna do it anyways. So check it out. We're gonna open up our sidechain option here. Bam. We're gonna engage sidechain, and we're gonna say, take audio from our drum rack. And then within our drum rack, I want you to take the audio from our kick. And we can grab it post effects. So if I hit this little preview button here, you can hear where the signal is being tapped. And we can set this threshold now, so we can pull it down, and whenever our kick goes past the threshold, then it's gonna reduce the volume of our track. So let's disengage preview. Now hear what happens when I reduce the threshold. Yeah. And let's give it a couple decibels of makeup gain. Now we have this. Excellent. So we are starting to build out our beat now, getting it sounding good. Let's go ahead and add a lead sound. This will be just like a do piano or something like that to go over our pads. So new MIDI track, Shift Command T. Let's go into our sounds and grab maybe Synth Lead. Let's try Synth Lead. Honestly, that's super boring, but we can spice it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and double click this, load it up, create a new MIDI clip, Shift Command M, and I'm just gonna draw on a melody and see what happens. Let's duplicate it. and invert it. Honestly, cool. Let's go ahead and just use that. I just select them to duplicate, but let's make this a little bit more cool and a little bit less cheap of a sound by maybe adding some reverb and echo, possibly some saturation. So under audio effects, let's go ahead and grab, okay, let's start with echo because you can do some fun stuff with echo. And I want to show you guys some cool presets that we have here. So when we first go to our audio effects and we find our audio effect, if you just double click and load in the blank audio effect here, it's going to be in its raw form. In this case, the echo will sound like this. Honestly, cool. Now I can change this however I want. I can also save any presets that I create that are really cool. But Ableton also has a bunch of presets that we could use. And when I'm feeling uninspired or I just want things to creatively come easier to me, I will just flip through presets and see if there's anything that I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this echo and let's maybe go for a modulated delay, something that will sound kind of weird. Analog collapse, let's try that. Ooh, it's a little bit more robotic and futuristic than I think this beat calls for, but I do like it. Now, what I can do is I can hot swap really quickly and try out different presets. So see all these presets here? I could double click and bring another one in and then delete the one that I already had and then keep going like that. Or I could just hit this hot swap button, which is in the top right of our effect. And when I hit this, it's going to show me over here where that is in the browser, if I don't already have it pulled up. And then it allows me to go up and down with my arrow keys. And then when I have one that I want to select and try out, I can hit enter. And then it's just going to automatically swap it out with what I have here. So I can use this to go through a bunch of different presets and see if anything sounds good. So I'm going to solo this track and we're going to flip through a couple different presets and see if there's anything tight. So let's hit our hot swap mode and check it out. Ooh, okay, I kind of like that. Let's make a couple changes. Let's bring back the feedback so we don't have as many iterations of it. I'm gonna create a little bit of a change in the delay time between the two of these, just knocking it off slightly off its axis with these little percentage, little swivelly knob button doodles here. And this is gonna create a difference in our left-right channel, which is gonna create a wider sense of space. Now I'm hearing these two are kind of too much in the same frequency range. So I'm just gonna try to transpose this up an octave, see how that sounds. I'm gonna select in my background here, hit Command A to select all of them, hold down Shift and press my up arrow. Let's hear how this sounds. Cool, and for a little bit of extra fun, I'm gonna throw on my favorite audio effect, Pitch Loop 89, which is like a granular delay resampler kind of device, and it just creates a lot of random little glitches that just sound cool. So I'm gonna turn this on, and maybe, ooh, I'll turn the pitch down -12, so it's gonna create some lower glitches, and let's see how this sounds. Yeah, and now I'm kind of wanting to separate these two sounds a little bit more. So I'm gonna throw an auto filter on the pads and just get rid of some of those highs. Sounds groovy. All right, we're gonna round this out by adding in a bass. So Shift Command T, let's add another MIDI track. And I really like for basses, Ableton has this instrument just called bass. It's just really self-explanatory and easy and sounds pretty good out the box. So let's go ahead and just create a pretty simple bass line. Select the amount of time we want to create a new MIDI clip and Shift Command M, MIDI clip. And now let's just draw something in. Now let's fiddle around a little bit here with the tone and see if we can get something we like a little bit more. Let's maybe add a saturation plugin to just get a little bit more grittiness out of this, which I can do in here like I did with the Drive, but I really like Redux, one of my favorite Ableton plugins. You can get some really, really grimy sounds with this and then just dial it in with a really low dry wet amount. Yeah, honestly, that little bit of fuzz just does it for me. Cool. We're gonna grab that same compressor that we have bouncing with the kick on the pads. We're gonna put that on the bass. Now to make this bass a little bit less boring, I'm gonna create some pitch bends in it. And there are a few different ways that we can create pitch bends. We can either go into our envelopes view right here and go into MIDI control and pitch bend and draw some pitch bends in with automation. We can go into our MPE for MPE enabled devices and create pitch bends for individual notes in here. But I'm gonna use a third method, which is just adding in little notes above the notes that you already have and creating glides to those notes essentially. So let's create some glides. Now this note, it's gonna glide up to this note, depending on what we have the glide set to. So in this instrument, I have my glide right here. We have portamento turned on, which is enabling gliding, and then we have 10 milliseconds. I'm gonna bring that up to give it a little bit of a more chill glide. Right, it could be even slower. Y'all, we've got a beat, we've got the basis for a song. You could build an entire song off of this. I hope that helps you to get some ideas for how you can start creating your own beats and creating the music that you hear in your head in Ableton Live. All right, guys, this was a lot of fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.